What about the ghoul in the chapter house? Are we going to kill them?
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily?
We can see what we can do. I'm optimistic. I think capturing the chapter house ghoul will be largely a triviality. After that, it's up to us figuring out the finer details of their ghouldom and just how deep it goes.
The going theory is that the ghoul infiltrator is one of the people already inside the Arcanum chapter house, and no secret person X, no animal, and no bloody plant. Was that right?
Yes, skipping some details, what Kevin gave me was the following. Allow me to paraphrase. This is something the status quo vampire big shots would not want hunters to know. They have ghouls all across East Anglia, serving as the backbone of their information network. This allows them to expand the borders of their domain, line their pieces up in the war effort, and most importantly, to get at something. Something that, as of now, remains unknown.
Oh boy.
They have ghouls in several organizations, and as Kevin listed them off by name, that is when he mentioned the Arcanum as one of the afflicted orgs.
I think it makes quite a lot of sense for a high-ranking vampire to want a ghoul within the Arcanum, to make sure they can redact any research that comes a bit too close to breaching their masquerade.
Yes, and by that logic, this ghoul has to be fairly new, given that we never discovered them whilst in the Arcanum's employ.
Is that a certainty, Sadi?
Well, of course! One of my primary duties while on staff was guarding against such infiltration. But if you seek more compelling proof, you'll note our scholarship on the vampiric was never redacted whilst we were there.
Wait, hold on. If they, for whatever reason, couldn't get rid of our scholarship whilst we were members, could the ghoul have been involved in getting us banned from the Arcanum?
That would have been easy. Remold Blacklaw had been lobbying for our ban since the day we came, after all. And it's not like we respected the Arcanum's rules all that much.
Most of us, at least.
Your point is pointed, though. It means the ghoul might well have existed alongside us, even back then. Nevertheless, this is a side tangent. Further along in the interview, Kevin went ahead and mentioned the Hunter data. Some kind of evil, fucked up data computer hypertech that immediately injects the names, age, and location of all hunters in East Anglia directly into your brainstem!
Didn't you refer to it as a floppy disk earlier?
Yeah? I would assume it flops its way through my ear canal or something. Evil word, the computer is the devil! As I was saying, the hunter data is, of course, top priority for vampires of any stripe. Should they acquire it, they would know the location and identity of all hunters in the region.
Bloody hell. With that sort of data, they could wipe the lot of us out. Why the hell would you keep something like that?
Huh, blame the Coalition. Under their watch, power and influence over the unaligned hunters will always be a higher priority than their security.
Ah, what idiots! I can start to see why you're so fervently anti-authority, Sadi.
Excellent! We'll make an enemy of the state of you yet!
I wouldn't go that far.
Regardless, Kevin first learned of the data when he was still part of polite vampire society.
The Camarilla, yeah?
Yes. Did you learn that name during the interview?
They kept bringing it up alongside something called Anarchs and their own Sabbat membership.
That's what I mean when I say practical learning. You'll always get better information out of the local ne'er-do-wells than you ever will from my generalized understanding. But yes, he first learned of it as part of the local Camarilla. But then learned more whilst hanging out with Piotr, as apparently the Sabbat had a spy within another org that works with the Arcanum. Allegedly, they finished compiling the hunter data only recently.
So the ghoul is going to be after that data. But it's likely locked within the archive, so it won't be easy to get at.
I can't imagine the ghoul is in any particular rush if they're a more permanent resident. I can only imagine them getting a bit panicky when we hit the scene. And depending on how they respond, we will respond in kind.
Hopefully we can get through this without wanton violence.
Well...